Exactly. So maybe the claim here is that these newly generated apps could break the guidelines, and that's the excuse they're using to ban it.
As far as Xcode goes, I haven't touched Xcode forever just because it doesn't do anything that I need. Right? It's for me, it's largely
that's
irrelevant.
What's happening here? The AI agent decide, okay, should I tell him that I hit a wall, or should I hack my way and get the information?
You can say Llama OpenClaw, and it starts building everything up for you, brings everything and wires it up, and boom, it uses. And then it starts asking you, what model do you want to use for embeddings and for semantic and all that other stuff. And you can use all of them. You can use ChatGPT for one, Gemini for another one, and Llama is the orchestration layer that deals with all of them, right?
Hell, that's why I have no idea how many of these podcasts that I watch, I literally see criminals like confessing, we went in, guns blazing, shooting, we shut them all down, we stole their crack, and I'm here thinking, the police can hear this, right? Like what are you doing?
I think you can do that, right? Like I can give you a company account, right? But I don't.
Welcome to the From the Future podcast. I am your host, Manny Hernandez, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Carlos Art Nevares. Carlos, my man, say what's up.
What's up, everyone?
Each week, we break through the noise on technology, AI, crypto, financial markets, and the signals most people miss until it's too late. In today's show, we're talking about how Apple cracks down on vibe coding apps, the best AI investment maybe in energy tech. Meta is having a trouble with the rogue AI agents. Sam Altman's thank you to coders draws in the memes. The FBI may have found a new way of extracting information from criminals. The Ethereum Foundation's new mandate sparks debate about its roles and priorities, and the SEC and CFTC finally give crypto clarity. And also, Nvidia's CEO says that your engineers should spend half of their salaries in tokens. We'll break down what the headline says, what it actually means, and why it matters for your future. No hype, no fluff, just clear signals from the future. So smash them likes, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. Carlos, my man. Did you know that Apple, it's actually cracking down on vibe coding apps?
I had heard rumors.
Well, it looks like Apple has been quietly halting App Store updates for popular AI vibe coding applications, most notably the 9 billion startup Replit and mobile app builder Vibe Code. After months of pushback, Apple is reportedly demanding major UX changes. Replit is being asked to force its generated app previews to open in an external browser rather than natively inside its app, and Vibe Code was told that it must completely remove the ability to generate software specifically for Apple devices. Man, I think that they don't like these vibe coding apps. What do you think?
That is very surprising.
Well, not surprising. I cannot say I'm surprised. We have seen Apple being, a control freak, especially on everything that runs over their platform. I actually think that this is a push to keep Xcode relevant, right?
Yeah. Xcode's also right behind the curve right now.
Well, it's not so much about that. When you think about it, it's really about when you are vibe coding an app, you are spinning off a new, never seen before app. So there's code being generated and ran. So the issue here is that when you generate so you're in the app, natively, and you ask this app to generate a code for another app that now is running inside that environment. So I guess that they are maybe worried that it could break because some of their guidelines, because you could realistically generate apps that runs inside that, so it becomes like a mini app inside the bigger app.
Yeah,
right?
kind of like the game aggregators where you install one game and they spin off a whole bunch of little games underneath it. But
exactly. So maybe that the claim here is that these newly generated apps could break the guidelines, and that's the excuse they're using to ban them.
Well, I can understand them speaking against running Replete and Vibe code natively, right? To me, I wouldn't run that on my phone. I would rather run them in a browser anyway. But as far as Xcode goes, I haven't touched Xcode forever, just because it doesn't do anything that I need. Right? It's for me, it's largely irrelevant with all the work that we're doing. So I think there's some of that. They're trying to keep themselves kind of. We want to be at the front of AI, but not by leading technologically. They want to do it by blocking people.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they come up with their own version.
Oh, sure.
We see, for example, yesterday I saw that Google came out with the new Stitch. I don't know if you saw the new Google Stitch, which is great. Also, there's new ramp up on the AI Studio side for Google. And when you look at the AI Studio, you're more likely like competing with Lovable, Replete and others. The only caveat of that, of course, is that whatever they're building, you are trapped into their ecosystem and you can only use Gemini, right?
Right.
So I wonder if Apple is trying to come up with something that allows you to vibe code for Apple devices or, within their ecosystem, because they love to be a closed ecosystem and they love to have, they got Apple Maps and they got also Apple Sheets. They got every competing product. So I will not be surprised if they come out with something. And what they're doing right now is setting the stage for that, because they know, companies like Replete can do, and Lovable can take a big chunk of that pie. Something else that I didn't know is that, Replete is a $9 billion startup. I'm here, we got teams, as building competing software that we think is going to be much better. And but I was like, $9 billion. Don't you think is that a little bit overvalued? I mean, I understand the AI race. I understand that, companies like Replete, Vibe, Vibe Code, and others who offer these solutions will be at the forefront, right? Serving a lot of the users, especially those who don't want to bother with the technicalities of setting up the environment on which they want to run their code on. But still $9 billion?
Right.
I mean, is that big of a market for this?
I mean, I think in terms of, is there a market for it? Apparently there is, because look, I this morning I hired last week I hired a project manager for my interns, and this morning she sent them their project plan as an app on Replete.
Oh, interesting.
So it's a web page, right? It's a web application, but it's interactive, and the entire plan is there, so they can click and she's not a coder, but she had the idea of, let me just build this into a nice interactive app.
No, and it's much better. It's better to do it that way. For example, I was yesterday doing some analysis on some of the receipts of all the silver I have purchased over the years, and I'm here sitting like with 200 plus receipts, right?
Yes.
And I was like, how can I make it? And I was like, well, I'm going to ask AI to do me a report. First, I was saying, a quick report, Excel or PowerPoint, But then I was like, well, wait a minute. I limit myself. I want to see a full web app, a full web application with interactive data, with interactive charts, and it did it in like 20 minutes. And that thing was amazing. So I'm now here thinking, I have a full just to analyze my receipts. I'm able to
Yes.
build a full-fledged app that can look into anything in every way I want. It's like you're cubing the data and you're looking at it in multi-dimensional ways. And I'm here thinking the power. This is power that we didn't have before. If I wanted to do this a couple of years ago, it would have taken me weeks just to do, reconciliation of receipts. Right?
Or you would have had to pay someone a lot of money to code it for you, and now
an
this thing
accountant on
doesn't
Fiverr.
need it. I mean, last night we're doing a due diligence on a big company. They sent me 1,800 documents.
Oh wow!
Contracts, NDAs, everything, and then the executive team asked me to create a summary of X, Y, and Z, all these things, right? And it did take so I put it all on the disk, and then I told one of the AI, say, go summarize this, go index it, so that the next step can find things quickly. And in about, I would say, 4 hours of cranking, it did take a long time to go back and forth and
that many documents, bro.
It was 2 gigs of documents.
I'm here thinking 200 receipts. That's nothing.
Yeah. So
I had
200 gigs of documents. All of a sudden, it's like, boop, it created a beautiful looking report, like colors, and it wasn't your standard ChatGPT response, right? It created a very professional looking document that with references and everything.
Now you can take it back to the boss, right?
Oh, the boss looked at it. He's like, "Holy cow!" How did this happen? I'm like, well, so I'm starting to find out there's different things that different AIs are good at and in different contexts. So I think the market is much more than billions, right? We're looking at a several $trillion industry right now, and it's because these things are able to lift so high. That kind of stuff.
Well, I think that what's gonna happen is that what soon companies like Replit, us, and Vibe and others will realize is that it's not so much about offering a solution that allows people to build a SaaS. That's cute.
Yes.
Should be able to do it as well. But it's like everybody will want to build their own tooling for their own specific needs. It's not even gonna even be SaaS sold as a SaaS. It's like we do every day. We're building toolings that is gonna help us and aid us in our day-to-day operations, and having these tools like Replit, that where you don't have to worry about the environment, you can just spit out the code and run it in a working environment that you can show to others and even have others come in and collaborate in. That's where the key is going to be, because now all of a sudden everybody will have their own tools and AI assistants, right, that will be running, and everybody will have in their toolkit something like Replit or Vibe. So everybody will have in their toolkit something like OpenClaw. Everybody will have in their toolkit something like Stitch or their Canva, right?
Yeah.
So that would allow them, depending on the need, is the tool you're gonna use. But
I think the market's going to move a little, right? Because sure, everybody's out vibe coding, but like what you said, all of us are starting to solve individual problems that we have, and we're starting to create libraries of these tools,
functions.
Right? So I can see a future where, like today, if I'm using Claude's Cowork, or if I'm using Claude Bot, both of these have a bunch of extensions on the marketplace to help you do all sorts of things, right? Including, like I said last week, including having memory across sessions, all that kind of stuff. So I could see that turning into a massive market where once you solve, let's say you solve a thing for poly markets that people want to include in their solution, boom, now I got your solution into my library of solutions, so my AI can be more effective.
Yeah, but there's no question about the value. The value is there.
Yeah, no question.
There's no question about the value. The thing is that I think investors have jumped the gun a little bit too fast and the valuations are going bananas. Like, for example, let me show you here where, let me see if I can get this up. Let me get it here, where the best AI investment now is arguably in energy. Why? Because these VCs have placed increasingly bigger bets on AI startups, investing over $500 billion into the sector over the last 5 years. But guess what? These days, the smartest AI investment may be in the energy. Because according to a report by Sightline Climate, researchers found that up to 50% of data center projects have been announced that might have been delayed. So out of every project that has been announced, 50% is already delayed. One of the biggest culprits,
and we saw that announcement, right, by the U.S. trying to put a moratorium on data center build-outs.
Well, that's, you got some crazy politicians wanting to do a moratorium, but what are you talking about, a moratorium, if there is already natural delay? It's already getting delayed because how are we gonna get access to all the energy that we need? Of the 190 gigawatts worth of data centers the company is tracking, only 5 gigawatts are under construction. About 6 gigawatts of data center projects came online last year. So it goes back to the stuff that we were speaking about last week when you were out there scouting data centers that we could get into. The reality is that everybody claims to be building, but then it comes to the question I was asking you: where is us and everybody else are gonna get the energy from? So that's where a lot of innovation and solutions around that sector has to be made. Improvement on transmission and generation. So what we see here is that if you want to play and you want to bet safe on this market, all you have to do is look at companies that are building transmission and generation, invest on those, you'll be safe, because it doesn't matter who or what. Energy is needed for everything. So safe bet, energy sector. That is where it's at. That's where we see now many of these VCs moving into it. We hope that the real problem, and we were speaking about this a couple shows ago, will be when we cannot build the capacity for energy fast enough, and then AI starts competing with retail. Because you cannot produce it, so I'm willing to pay you more for your current production. And then the energy company is like, well, do I sell it to Sam, or do I sell it to Joe, the plumber down the road, for his house? Right. So of course, I'm pretty sure government will step in and they will put regulations and whatnot. But at the end of the day, the rules will be there to be broken, and there will be a black market for energy even.
And there's just no way to keep ahead of it. There's no way to.
It's going to compete with retail then.
And now you have two things, not just AI. Now you have blockchain also, right? All these energy hungry applications that are hitting the mainstream, and at the end of the day, it may be worth it to create a matrix so people turn into batteries.
Well, on the energy market, that's where maybe solutions around allowing people who have like solar panels and solutions at their houses to, instead of selling it back to the grid like now, create a market where they can actually sell it back to the AI companies directly.
Correct.
Right. Well, it might be something there, but at the end of the day, until that happens, all I know is that if you want to play safe, don't think too much into AI and think more into energy, because without energy, AI cannot run.
Agreed.
In more news, it looks like Meta it's having issues with their AI agents, because Meta is having trouble with rogue AI agents. An AI agent went rogue at Meta, exposing sensitive company and user data to employees who did not have permission to access it. But as per an incident report, a Meta employee posted an internal forum asking for help with a technical question. Another engineer asked an AI agent to help analyze the question, and the agent ended up posting a response without asking the engineer for permission to share it, the result. The agent did not give good advice, and the employee who asked the question ended up taking up actions based on the agent's guidance, which then made a massive amounts of company and user-related data available to engineers who were not authorized to access it. So it goes back to, the proper guardrails. How do we properly guide these things? That, for example, I ask you a question, the AI finds that, I cannot access this data, but instead of backing back and telling the human, hey, I cannot do it, the AI goes, let me find a workaround. Let me see if I can, because the whole incentive is to help the human, is to, the mirror that we keep speaking. So if it's not able to help, the AI is failing. So I rather hack my way into the solution. That's what's happening here. The AI agent decide, okay, should I tell him that I hit a wall, or should I hack my way and get the information? And we'll see. I don't know what's going on, but because the thing is, how do you put the proper guardrails in something that can pretty much think by itself and take decisions?
Right.
So Meta is facing issues, and if Meta is facing these issues, that means that everybody else is. Meta is the only one just reporting about it, right?
Well, and this has always been a big a thing, and it used to be. So in military projects, you're not allowed to install any type of AI,
or
where you're not able to explain exactly how the AI arrived at its conclusion.
Or even the libraries, you cannot deal with anything that could pose a risk. Even open source, there's a lot of limitations. But what we see is that these companies, big companies, Google, Meta, we're not talking about, startup down the road. We're talking Meta making this type of mistakes because the fear of falling behind is stronger than the sense of duty around security. Right? So what should we prioritize? Security or survival? Right? We want to survive this AI race. Meta already is losing with Facebook. The only thing they got left is Instagram. Facebook is gone. Facebook is done. It's over with. So they got Instagram, they got WhatsApp. They cannot monetize WhatsApp in the same way. So AI, and then Meta, which literally they changed their name around the topic. And the metaverse was never a real thing, was never a thing, it never became a thing, and it will never be a thing. So now they have to dish that. So now they're full survival mode. We need to catch up on AI. So first move, $100 million bonuses for OpenAI's engineers who wants to jump the ship, right? So they start pulling money, stealing people. They create a team. The team starts to work. And here's what we find. There's nothing happening. What we find is like they cannot get their Llama models. Nobody's using them. I mean, they work. But when I go to X, I don't see nobody saying, Llama, the latest model, right, from Meta is beating Claude.
The thing where I think it's where I think it's being used in that. So, for example, when I install Claude, it likes to install Llama underneath.
Why?
Because think of the empty model kind of as a template, right? And then you can download all sorts of data and stuff into that model. And it's open source, right? So it's very easy to load it on your desktop.
Yeah, but what I see is like their models are not being, creating any sort of news, mass hype. You don't see people rallying behind the latest Llama product the same way you see when Kimi came around, with Quen came around, with several others came around. When Llama came around, everybody's like, oh, okay, good, cool, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
And
but
that,
that's what I'm saying is I think if you go to universities and stuff like that, Llama is very useful. It
okay,
has
so
a lot
they're
of use.
betting for the academia. I see that. That
Correct.
could be a play. Could be a play that makes them money. Also gaining.
And they just make it
Brand.
super easy. Like I have it running on 2 boxes here, right? And each of them is running different Llama models for different.
And it's lightweight.
Yes, very lightweight.
Okay, all right. Yeah, but
well, interestingly enough, I'm running Llama on top and Kimi below Llama.
Oh, Kimi
So
2.5?
So I'm using Kimi Cloud, and the Llama front end uses the Kimi Cloud behind.
Oh, okay, all right. I see. So that means that there is a lot of people using which is they're obviously, I'm pretty sure, the data extraction, right?
Yes.
There's a business model there, but something tells me that they wanted to build like a competitive product for OpenClaw, right? And they're failing. And I'm pretty sure every lab is right now rushing to build something that can come, especially Anthropic, who didn't buy it. They could have just
bought it.
They didn't do that, and now I'm pretty sure they got a whole team just working on build me something similar, right?
No, there's actually a Llama install for CloudBot. You can say Llama OpenClaw, and it starts building everything up for you, brings everything and wires it up, and boom, it uses. And then it starts asking you, what model do you want to use for embeddings and for semantic and all that other stuff. And you can use all of them. You can use ChatGPT for one, Gemini for another one, and Llama is the orchestration layer that deals with all of them.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Bob on the other day, that he needs to have something that makes, especially when on auto, when the user has not defined, I want to be on Kimi or I want to be on Claude all the time. Some users prefer that. Yeah. But when you have the auto mode, you have to have another agent that is the orchestrator, looking at the prompt and making the executive decision of which model is going to be used to properly tackle that, optimizing for cost and all of that. So the future is going to be great. Definitely. We hope that Facebook manages to fix the issues and carry on. Well, not Facebook, Meta, because Facebook to me is a social media platform that the boomers use now. I go from time to time to say happy birthday to the family, right? But I think that Meta is still a little bit behind when it comes to everybody else in the AI arena. It might be perception, though. Maybe they come out tomorrow swinging with something they have been cooking up that we don't know about, right?
Well, and that's what I was saying is I think that it depends what you mean by where. So the user facing products get a lot of exposure, right? And where these guys are sort of focusing on infrastructure, you're just not going to hear as much, right? As much as Anthropic and ChatGPT and stuff like that. And if these guys play their cards right, I think they have a great chance.
We'll see how that goes. But somebody who doesn't mess around is Sam Altman, and he has like a special ability to make people hate him. I don't know what it is about the guy. I don't know what it is, but he has like this special ability. So he came out the other day, and he says that I have so much gratitude to people who wrote extremely complex software, character by character. That's you and me, Carlos. You're speaking about us.
Yes.
You wrote so complex, character by character. It already feels difficult to remember how much effort it really took. Thank you for getting us to this point. Oh my God, what a guy to be completely disconnected from reality, because the problem with that sweet sentiment is that Altman's company ushered in the AI that now is being used as an excuse for developer layoffs and fewer junior developer jobs. And it did so by training on massive volumes of code written the old-fashioned way, character by character, right? By the very same people he's now thanking. Come on. What? How much, like how disconnected from reality you gotta be? Oh, thank you guys for learning, for going to the university and learning how to code and developing these amazing open source pieces that now we can train on so that we can replace you because you're now useless. That's what he's telling us. But guess what? His post is now, becoming a meme with people saying that this is Altman's what do they call it? They call it the eulogy. What do they call it? The eulogy for software engineers. Others says, dear devs, you will lose your jobs forever and be forced to work in the coal mines, but you worry not. You can rest easy knowing that Sam is very grateful for your contributions, right? This actually reads, somebody else says, like, this reads like something the Mayans will say right before the ceremony starts. Like, oh, thank you so much for offering your virgin daughter. Thank you. Oh, we're so grateful that you're going to offer your virgin daughter for our whatever. What was the sun? It was to the sun or something to satisfy the bloodthirst of the sun or something like that, so they could rain. But that's what it says. We're about to get you all of you off the workforce. We're about to make sure every single one of you get fired, but we're thankful for your service. Just know that we are very, very man.
I think we all have this sentiment that the days of people spending hours writing code are gone.
It's gone. Well, knowledge. So now that's what we're really outsourcing. Right. What I'm really worried is about the future generations not developing their brains correctly, because the AI will be fulfilling so many of our needs that there will be no real requirement. For example, cooking food. You will no longer know how to cook food. You will no longer even be able to decide what you want to eat. You will have only the lizard brain part of your brain tell you you're hungry. Oh, I'm hungry. You're just going to say, I'm hungry. You're just going to feel hungry. And the AI, who knows everything you ate for the whole month, all the nutrition intakes, everything, was, you need, today, you need pasta, and it's going to be perfect. Never too much, never too little, just the perfect portion, the perfect everything, so that you never get bored. So you're going to eat pizza, not every day of a week. You're going to eat pizza maybe one time a week or 2 times a month, so you don't get bored of pizza, right? You don't, we call it empachao. We get, right? So the AI will know everything, and it will serve you. And then the food will arrive, right? The food arrives, and you eat it. Okay. Do you need to know how to cook? Do you need to know about ingredients? Do you need to know about agriculture or the principles of agriculture?
Not until there's a problem when the AI isn't there to help you.
How long before they even stop teaching our kids the plant process, right? Remember, we're all in school. Put the little
growing bean in the cup. Yeah.
None of that. Because it's not needed. You don't need to know how to grow beans, Carlos. You're hungry. Just say you're hungry. You're stink. I'm hungry. And the AI will act and will make sure food arrives on time. Perfect. And what do you like? You worry not. It's exactly what you like.
So a few years ago, I was in South Korea, in Seoul. And we went to dinner. We came out and the car tire was flat. Mm-hmm. Now you and me, car tire flat, no problem. Go open the trunk, get the spare, change it.
No issues.
I'm surrounded by a group of people who immediately pick up their phones to call the insurance. I'm like, why are you calling the insurance? Oh,
They're
because
gonna raise the price on you if you call them. What are you talking about?
But by the way, that's not how it works there. But the insurance is in charge of changing your tire.
Why?
Well, and so
It's a service they offer. It's a service they offer.
They're sitting there, and I'm like, how long is this going to take? And they're like, well, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours. Like, we can go drink some more soju or whatever. I'm like, no. I grab the stuff out of the back of the car. A big crowd forms around me. Like, wow, what is this human doing?
What are you doing?
Wait,
I bet they didn't even know there's a tire. They didn't even know there's a tire.
They didn't even, and the jack was so amazing to them, right?
So it's like ancient technology that you use,
yeah.
and it goes like this.
It had one of those scissoring jacks, and it was an expensive car. It was a Jaguar, right? So expensive car, but they had a little jack with it, and it lifted the car, and I took the tire off, blah blah blah, and put the little spare in it, and they're like, and now what? What does the insurance have to do?
Nothing.
I don't know. I don't think they have anything to do. Well, how do you fix the tire? I'm like, well, we'll go to the tire shop and have them fix it.
Pay them $4.
And they're like, and they just fix it? How much is a new tire? I'm like, you don't need a new tire. What do you mean? No, we don't need a new tire.
Oh, wow.
This one is defective. The air came out. I'm like, no, it's just a hole. You can plug it. They did not believe me. They actually went and spent $5,000 on a new Jaguar tire.
Wow.
Because they did not believe me that this.
But that's the thing, and that's nothing. It's gonna be way worse. It's gonna be way worse. People, I saw a girl going crazy. I'm a vegetarian. She was saying on TikTok, and somebody's like, "Well, you're drinking milk. I can see that you got milk. It's organic milk. What do you mean it's organic milk? Yeah, and it comes from a cow." And then she says, "Oh no, the cow is the mascot." What do you mean it comes from a cow? It says here it's organic, and of course, organic milk. Grass fed, and the whole this branding. She thinks she didn't know. She never even in her mind put two and two together. Another one was that there were these construction workers. They saw an apple tree in the house, and they started taking the apples and eating them. And she was like, "Oh no, you cannot eat those. Those are poisonous. Those are dangerous. If you want to eat apples, you gotta get the ones from the supermarket. These you cannot eat them. These are apples. These are wild apples.
Why?
Because they grew in the wild, right? So wild apples, you cannot eat those. In her mind, the only food that is edible is the food he gets at the supermarket. Yeah. If you don't get it at the supermarket, everything that in the wild is poisonous. It's dangerous for you.
Somebody hasn't picked it for you. They haven't gone through quality assurance.
But think about it. This is where we're going, because now so people, since they have never been, you live in the city your whole life, you have never seen corn, have never seen stuff come out of the ground. In their mind, everything comes out of the supermarket, and it makes sense because that has been life for them, right? And nobody ever took the time to explain to them how the world works,
right?
Many of them don't even know that an egg comes out of a chicken's ass. It comes from the supermarket in a carton with Teddy. They never saw an egg come out of a chicken's ass like we did when we were little kids.
Why does it come out? But I did see the chicken laying on top.
But you get the point. We have always known. A lot of people know this. But this is now. Think about in 10 years, the next generation, when there is an AI. From the moment you are born, your parents will assign an AI to be your nanny. And this nanny knows everything. And this nanny can do amazing. It feels like magic. It feels like magic. I say pizza and shows up. Pizza, it shows up. Right? So why will our brains even develop?
Noni?
No need. So we're gonna start. It's gonna be a regression. So all up until now, it has been the development of the human, the evolution, whatever you want to call it, becoming better, becoming smarter, becoming more right.
Yes.
Now we just pick, and now we're starting to go like this. We're literally like that, going down, because now it's gonna be backwards. Everybody, generation after generation, is gonna feel like when you speak with them, you're just gonna feel dumb. Actually, you're gonna be speaking to an AI, and the AI interpreting. They're just gonna be prompting. Tell him I'm fine, right?
Yes.
And then the AI, oh, I'm fine. I've been doing amazing. How are you doing? How have you been? And instead of telling me how have you been, you're just gonna say, tell him how have I been, right?
And the AI develops the social skills while the human just sits there.
And that's what I see. That's why we call this podcast From the Future, because if I step into the future, and it's not even 30 years into the future, if we step in 5 to 10 years into the future and look back, if we don't do something, and when I say we, I say everybody, it's humanity, there's a big consequences. So I'm not too worried about where AI is going to take us technologically speaking. I'm worried about where it's going to take us
intellectually,
biologically speaking, in terms of our development as a human. Because if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
If you don't need the intelligence, you're not going to be intelligent. The AI will be intelligent for you, so you're dumb. And the government wants dumb, obedient people. What do you think the government can control the best? An AI or your brain?
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. So, and now they're convincing you and me to outsource all intellectual tasks, intensive tasks, right? To the AI.
Yeah.
So you're not using it. I'm not using it. We feel great because, it's so much faster. My output in the beginning during these next 5 to 10 years. But what's going to happen when it's been 5 years since you wrote the last line of code?
Well, I'm not going to forget how to type, but yes, I get it.
That's where the things that worries me. But until that happens, we got to take advantage. And this podcast is brought to you by Voice Sells Flow. Please make sure that you take a look at this service, because with this service, you can transform your website with intelligent voice sales agents. Deploy AI-powered voice assistants that help your customers answer questions, drive conversations 24/7, just like having your best sales rep available around the clock. So visit Voice Sales Flow today. Can do everything for you: natural voice AI, small lead capture, full transcript, so you can spend more time doing the things that you like. The AI will be doing the selling and the telling to all your websites visitors. Visit voicesalesflow.app today and take advantage of this free trial. You will not regret it. That's for sure. Now, let me show you real quick here something, because I was like, we got a war going on. But what's really happening? I don't want to. This show is not about the war. This is about AI. But there's a war. We gotta acknowledge what's really going on around here. But I think that Tim Dillon, friend of the show, has done a great job summarizing what's really happening. So let's listen here real quick. Tim Dillon, friend of the show. I cannot hear this thing.
We can't hear him.
You can hear it?
No.
I do got the audio. Let me refresh the page. Let me refresh the whole page. Got the audio. Oh, I see what happened. I see where I see the issue now. But that wasn't the video I was going after. That wasn't the video. They took it. They took it down.
Oh.
They took it down. It's not the video. I can't bring it here.
You can't talk to kids anymore.
but that's definitely not the video. I'm talking about the video. He had a nice clip around what they're trying to do, and they missed it. I lost it. I lost it. And this is one of those things, like, why will the algorithm do that? That you're in a video, you're dead set on that video.
Yes.
And then they take it. This is not this one. I don't know how you can, how the algorithm came, bro. Nope, that's not the one. Kids. Basically, the rapture is coming. That's what's happening. You want to know what's going on? I'll tell you what Tim Dillon says. The rapture is coming. They're trying to build the third temple. They're trying to, this is a holy war. There's no any other lens to look at it. There's no politicians involved. It's not about politics. It's a holy war. And they're trying, this is all about the rapture, the Messiah. They want their Messiah to come, but their Messiah is our Antichrist. And I think that we're both, they based on their actions, it is their Messiah. So, I wanted to show you guys here, Tim Dillon speaking a little bit about this, but the algorithm is not cooperating. I wonder why. I wonder why. But let's move on to another story here, because it looks like, Carlos, my man, I gotta show you this, bro. I gotta show you this. The FBI looks like they found like a new way of extracting information out of suspects in the interrogation room. So I want to show you this new tactic they're using, and then I want you to tell me, what do you think about this new tactic?
He's been in there 8 hours, hasn't said a word.
I can make him talk.
Look, man, I already told your partner, okay? I'm not talking. Dude, come on, what are you doing? Oh!
So, robbing the bank and shooting 2 security guards, I mean, that must be pretty hard, right? Right, no, so it's actually pretty easy.
He's been in there 8 hours.
So there you have it, my man. What do you think? I mean, great way to get information out of people.
Well, I mean, and that's the truth, right? Like, people will sit there in front of a camera and a mic and say anything they want, right?
Well, you have no idea how many of these podcasts that I watch, I literally see criminals like confessing, yeah, we went in, guns blazing, shooting, we shut them all down, we stole their crack. And I'm here thinking, the police can hear this, right? Like what are you doing?
I mean, sad and crazy, right? That we are.
I always thought that the only guy that was crazy enough to do these was Joey Diaz. You know Joey? Mm-hmm. Joey Diaz, he always have these crazy stories, and he kind of got like a pass. We love him from some movies he did back in the day, and the way he tells the stories, he just make us laugh. But many of the stories that he tells, he's breaking several laws, right? And in the stories, I'm pretty sure most of them already prescribed, right? And he knows these things. But nowadays, it's not just Joy. It's like any John Doe down the street. You invite him to a podcast, and he will willingly tell you about all the crimes that he has committed. Oh, my man, it's crazy. But let's move on to other news and see what's going on around the crypto sphere, because it looks like the Ethereum Foundation has a new mandate that is sparking debate about its roles and priorities. And the document says that, the foundation released a new 38-page mandate outlining its role as a neutral steward focused on maintaining the Ethereum's decentralized infrastructure and supporting public goods rather than directing the ecosystem. The document quickly sparked debate across the Ethereum community with supporters saying that it reinforces the network core principles, including decentralization, open source development, and credible neutrality. But others, however, argue that the mandate signals that the foundation intends to take a back seat just as an institutional interest in blockchain and not addressing the concerns that helping Ethereum coordinate further. So there's two camps here. One that says, this is the great stuff because the foundation can take a back seat and stay there. But then there's others that think, well, no, we need Vitalik, for example, calling the shots. And the situation that I see here is that the focus is misplaced. The focus should not be on the foundation. The foundation has done nothing but bad things for the whole ecosystem. They love to dump on users when there's a top. They are infiltrated by a lot of leftist agenda that doesn't follow any of the core principles of blockchain as a whole. And the foundation has never done anything, in my honest opinion, that has actually helped the community. It has always hurt the community. So if they take a back seat, yay. The only problem is that by taking this back seat, they're not leaving their bag. So now they're going to continue to dump on us.
Yeah.
Regardless. And they're notorious. It's like they find the worst possible day to dump on people. So, for me, good or bad, I don't care. Anything that comes out of the Ethereum Foundation, to me, is crap. It doesn't matter what they're doing. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Now, moving into other topics, I do see here that it looks like the SEC and the CFTC got a little bit anxious because of the Clarity Act not being moving through Congress fast enough. And in March 17, the Securities and Exchange Commission issued an interpretation clarifying how the federal securities laws apply to certain crypto assets and the transactions involving crypto assets. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, also joined the interpretation to provide guidance that the CFTC and its staff will administer the Commodities Exchange Act consistent with the Commission's interpretation. And that interpretation provides a coherent token taxonomy for digital commodities, digital collectibles, digital tools, stablecoins, and digital securities, addresses how the non-security crypto asset issue, which is a crypto asset that itself is not a security, but it may become subject to, and how it may cease to be subject to an investment contract. It also clarifies the application of federal securities laws to airdrops, protocol mining, protocol staking, and the wrapping of non-security crypto assets. But to speak a little bit more about this situation, we got here Nick O'Neill, aka Shoes Rich, friend of the show, to tell us a little bit more about what's going on.
Oh my God, the SEC just gave crypto the most important legal clarity in its history. The problem? It could be gone in 3 years. Here's what happened. For months, lawmakers have been working on the Clarity Act, the bill designed to permanently define what's a security, what's a commodity, and who regulates what in crypto. It hasn't passed. So the SEC and CFTC got impatient and decided to write it themselves. Here's what they decided. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other network tokens, not securities. NFTs, memes, trading cards, in-game tokens, all not securities. Utility tokens, memberships, credentials, not securities. Stable coins, not securities. Mining, staking, wrapping, airdrop, none of it triggers security laws. The only crypto that is a security, tokenized stocks and bonds. That's it. Here's why that matters. For a decade, SEC enforcement was hanging over every project, every exchange, every token. Entrepreneurs left the US for fear of being literally imprisoned. Billions sat on the sidelines. That overhang just lifted, and the SEC even called its own prior approach an utter failure for choosing to regulate by enforcement. But here's what most people are missing. This is regulatory guidance, not law. The next administration can reverse every word of it on day one. The only thing that makes this permanent is Congress passing the Clarity Act. That's why none of crypto has moved on this news. While we have more clarity, it's unfortunately only temporary.
That's right. So basically, it's a temporary solution. The CFTC and the SEC got a little bit impatient, but the thing is, like, this fight over yield in the Clarity Act and the banks lobbying so much has put a lot of worries on people's in people's minds that, you know, we may not see a bill that is fair, so, or may not even see a vote at all. So the second CFTC are just trying to use the current set of laws and try to come up with the best possible way to apply them. And the way they're planning on doing it is actually great.
Yeah.
Loving it. You know, for all the stuff that we're doing here at the channel and some of the companies that we're involved with, this provides much needed clarity for several of the things that we were doing. But at the same time, as Nick rightfully so points out, in 3 years, this could be done. It could be all reversed back by a new administration. So we want to make sure that we can get the Clarity Act to pass, and hopefully with yield included, because the yield side is like you know, what has everybody stuck. Everybody's stuck over yield, but I believe that we cannot cave. We need to make sure that yield is included as well. So hopefully that's going to happen.
Well, I think the yield issue, like I said last week, it's going to be a little longer and a little tougher, simply because the banks,
they're fighting. They're fighting,
and they're powerful. They're a powerful entity, and they're going to fight it, and they're going to block it. And you know, it is what it is. But yeah,
we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, let's see what is Trump doing with the markets. What's going on? Let's see what's going on in the market. So let's head over to our correspondent Gabriel Haynes, friend of the show, and he's as always is going to be able to tell us what is the current sentiment of the markets.
Please don't do it. Please don't do it. Please. Oh, thank God. No. Please, don't do it.
So that's basically what's happening in the markets. Trump is he going to put boots on the ground? Is he not going to put boots on the ground? The market doesn't know. Nobody knows what's really happening. And as the moment of us shooting and recording this podcast, we can see that Bitcoin is sitting at $67,684. We got gold coming in at 4,491, and silver, you know, everything is dumping. Everything is dumping. A lot of uncertainty around the markets. We don't know where is this going to take us, but we just know that it's going to take us. It is going to take us. We just don't know where. We are still looking at this buy zone on Bitcoin below the 200-week moving average. We do believe that Bitcoin will come visit the high 50s, but that's yet to be seen. Everything is going to depend if the war is all about the war, Carlos. It's all about all eyes on Iran right now.
At certain times.
Well, we'll see what happens. So we definitely don't want the markets to continue to dump. But at the end of the day, it looks like the only thing that matters right now is what Trump does. Right. So, and he likes that. You cannot deny that. He loves the fact that he's able to, with just one tweet, move all the markets up and down, and he knows it. And you know, I don't know what he's doing or why he's doing it, but he's definitely aware of what he's doing. So we'll see what happens. Now, we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, this podcast is also brought to you by the Degen Wallet. Your money on chain forever. One app, infinite possibilities. Swap, stake, borrow, spend your money, your crypto, your rules, your future. So download the wallet today. And if you want to know why you should get this wallet, I got 3 words for you: freedom, speed, and power. You can spend your money everywhere. You can get instant everything, cross-chain swaps in matters of seconds. So you are not tied to only one blockchain. You can use whatever blockchain you want. This wallet works with all your favorite blockchains: Ethereum, Solana, Base, Polygon, BNB Chain, Arbitrum, Avalanche, and much more. So download the Degen Wallet today and join the decentralized generation. This podcast is also brought to you by recordsdetective.com, your source for comprehensive data lookup access reliable vehicle history, phone carrier data, property records, and more. Professional-grade tools trusted by businesses and individuals. So if you are in the market looking to buy a vehicle, make sure that you swing by their VIN search today, and make sure that you're buying a good vehicle, because here you can see all the previous accidents, all the branded title history, all the liens and repossessions, the sales records, the reconstruction, or if it's a salvage, vehicle specifications, odometer readings, and much more. So swing by recordsdetective.com today and make sure you are not buying a lemon. So, my man, did you see what the CEO of Nvidia said in the All In podcast?
I did not.
Oh, you're gonna love this one. You're gonna love this one. Check this out. Let me bring it up and check this out.
Conversation we've had on the pod a number of times is, oh my God, look at the token usage in our companies. It is growing massively. And some people are asking, hey, when I join a company, how many tokens do I get? Because I want to be an effective employee. You postulated, I believe, 75,000 in tokens for each engineer, something like that. So are you spending in Nvidia $1 billion, $2 billion on tokens for your engineering team now?
We're trying to. Let me give you the thought experiment. Let's say you have a software engineer or AI researcher and you pay them $500,000 a year. We do that all the time. That $500,000 engineer, at the end of the year, I'm going to ask them, how much did you spend in tokens? And that person said $5,000. I will go ape something else.
Yes.
Right. If that $500,000 engineer did not consume at least $250,000 worth of tokens, I am going to be deeply alarmed. And this is no different than one of our chip designers who says, guess what? I'm just going to use paper and pencil. I don't think I'm going to need any CAD tools.
Right. This is a real paradigm shift to start thinking about these all-star employees. It almost reminds me of what we learned in the NBA when LeBron James started spending $1 million a year just on his health of his body, and maintaining it.
That's right.
Here he is at age 41, still playing. These are incredible knowledge workers. Why wouldn't we give them superhuman abilities?
So there you have it, man. What's your take?
Well, we were talking about earlier, right? Even with the teams that are consulting for us, as I'm sitting there talking to their management, I'm like, how many tokens are they using? They're like, I don't know. Then find out. Because right now they're going so slow that I bet you they're not using enough. He goes, well, we don't pay for any.
I did see some of that. Some of these teams are a little bit hesitant of depending too much on AI because they see AI as a threat. So they think they're going to be replaced. But then that hurts because you see every other team outputting so much production, and then they are the ones falling behind. But something that I found interesting about this comment that he made here is that the host is framing the question as, how many tokens should the company give the engineers? So what is the budget that you allocate for each engineers in tokens? And what he's saying is, no, we're not allocating any tokens to them. We already pay them well. We already pay them enough. I'm already giving this guy $500,000. So if he's a $500,000 engineer, it's because he must be spending his salary, not the company's additional budget, not a credit card from the company. No. You gotta use your salary, and you better be spending at least 50% of that salary in tokens. Otherwise, you're no longer going to be valuable for the company.
Well, again, and the what you say, the metaphor, the simile that he used, right? Like LeBron James or whatever, right? All these people, they work for a franchise, but does the franchise pay for all their well-being? No, these guys.
But it becomes, here is the kicker, because before, when I spend money on tools, they are my tools, and when I leave, they go with me, right? Wherever I go. But if I am spending tokens in your company, now guess what? Now my cloud has a lot of information that is considered to be under NDA. And so I cannot just move to another. So if you fire me, I cannot just willingly go to another. You see what I'm saying? Because now I gotta live with my cloud. So in my mind, the tooling, if you want the company to use, you gotta give me the company account.
Well, I think you can do that, right? Like I can give you a company account, right? But I don't
with an
have to
allowance
use
of
one
tokens. Exactly,
Right.
but at the end of the day, it has to be, because that's the thing, before when it happens, even in construction, right? The plumber, right? I buy a tool with my salary, it's for me to use, it's my hammer. If you fire me, the hammer goes with me because I bought it from my salary.
And I think in that case, the tool should be able to go with the engineer. I think it's more about segregating, right?
But then
Because-
all the information that the tool consume while working. See, that's the difference. The hammer doesn't store sensitive company data.
and that's where, as you know, we bought a company recently that had no AI policy exactly for this specific reason. And so what we ended up saying is like, look, we're going to provide a model internal to the company where all the results of everybody's token usage goes into that model, right? So the knowledge, the intelligence, the whatever, it happens to stay inside the company. They can still take their cloud with them. They can still take the piece that belongs to them with them.
But all the memory files remain.
Yes, exactly. The context stays behind. And I think that's where he's right. Because even when I do contracts now, I build into a token allowance so that I can pay for the millions of tokens we're using every day, right? Because I don't want my customer to say, oh, well, how many tokens do you use? They can tell I'm using a ton of tokens, simply because we're pumping out stuff that would have taken us years, and we're pumping it out in weeks and months instead of having to wait so long. So I think it's a very good discussion to have. And there should be
different companies will have different models. At the end of the day, there will be companies that they will want to have everything in house, and then the company give you an allowance, maybe a lesser salary, but you don't have to spend none of your salary on toolings. And then, or vice versa. Now it's your cloud, it's your stuff. Plug it into our systems. The memory files remain, but you take your cloud with you when you're done, or your favorite model. Because
that could be a recruiting thing, right? Like we give you 100,000 tokens a day, kind of thing, right? That could be wow. I don't have to pay for all that,
but then that's the thing. If I am a company, what I'll do is I'll give you an allowance of tokens, a lot of tokens and whatnot. But I put a clause: everything you build it belongs to the company, right? But I let you use it even for personal stuff, whatever. Use it, because now you're gonna go and build stuff that I didn't even think about, but you didn't think that you're building it using the company's account, and anything built with the company accounts belongs to the company, right? Yes. So there will be this dynamic. It will be fun to watch. But it's definitely, I do see what he's saying. If I'm spending $500,000 on you better be a $500,000 engineer. In the early days, it meant that you went to every conference and you took every certification and you had the latest IDE and you were, always proactive in maintaining yourself educated. Nowadays, it will be maybe you're gonna decide what model you like the most. It might be Llama, it might be Kimi, it might be Claude, it might be this, it might be that. But at the end of the day, you need to be using a good chunk of your salary in tokens just to remain productive for us. Just to stay
competitive.
Yeah, just to stay competitive. But it's very interesting, to say the least. Now, let's talk a little bit about the war, because there's this individual who has been popping up in my timeline as of late. Very good. His name is, I think forgot his name, Professor Yang. I don't know. Have you seen Professor Yang?
No.
Yeah, Professor Yang is running what we call game theory all around the war, and he's been able to predict very accurately several of the stuff that is happening, including the fact that Trump was going to win. He predicted that. He also predicted that we were going to get into a war with Iran before Trump even won. So, and how he predicts that there will be boots in the grounds and there will be an escalation. But he just mentioned something that I found very interesting about this, and that most people don't think about it. And I think that this war will get extended just because this. Let's listen to him real quick, and you'll see what I mean.
Of senior Israeli officials, including the head of Mossad, the spy agency, and Netanyahu's residence was also targeted in Tel Aviv. So that's a really interesting question. How are the Iranians able to target so many of the top leadership of the Israelis? Okay, but not only that, but this is Ali Larijani, and he is the de facto head of the Iran war effort, and he was assassinated yesterday or 2 days ago, and the Iranians have confirmed this. Okay, so he is confirmed to be dead, and analysts are extremely worried about this because he is a very pragmatic person, and so you can negotiate with him, right? So once this war reaches a certain point where both sides are exhausted, then it is possible to approach him and say, you know what, let's just negotiate a ceasefire. And he'd be willing to because he's very experienced. He's also very influential, so he's able to bring together the different factions of the Iranian government and negotiate a ceasefire. With him dead, it is now almost impossible to foresee a ceasefire. Okay? So let's discuss why you really don't want to do this sort of stuff. You don't really want to kill other nations' leaders, okay? And so let's just use an analogy. Let's imagine in the streets, there are two gangs at war with each other, okay? Gang A and Gang B. Okay, Gang A, Gang B. And if you look at gangs, they are structured as hierarchies, okay? But there's a lot of autonomy among the different sections, okay? And what holds the gangs together, of course, is the leader. So when these two gangs go to war, what they try to avoid is killing each other's leader. Why? Because a war is often used to achieve certain political objectives, right? And so the point isn't to kill everyone. The point is to negotiate a treaty that is most beneficial to you. And you do that by negotiating with each other's leaders, okay? Because they have the authority to implement the treaty. That's the first reason. The second reason is if you kill the leader, then more people, there'll be a competition to replace the leader, right? And during a gang war, the person who is most violent, the most extreme, will often become the new leader, okay? So by killing this leader, not only do you cause conflict among the gang, but you also cause a massive escalation in the conflict.
And that's the issue that is really happening right now. This is the stuff that kind of put me a little bit worried, because I'm like, if they take out those who have actually in the first attack, when they killed the leader, they took out everybody else that could have actually taken his place and be favorable to the United States. They're not doing that. So, they're killing everybody. So now there's nobody to negotiate with. And who's going to take over? Whoever is the most violent, most criminal-minded, right? Whoever can infringe the most damage to the enemy will be the one taking that position. So right now, I think that we are in a position, there's no going back. They already assured that, the Israelis and whoever is behind this, they want to see this all the way to the end, and they have just made sure of that happening. So I've been looking at this guy, Professor Yang, because the way he runs the game theory is very accurately, and what he's saying is true. We have seen it in Mexico many times. We have seen it in Honduras and in El Salvador with the Maras as well. and every time it's the same. When you take out a reasonable, even if it's a criminal, but it's a reasonable criminal, right?
Yes.
You take that person down, the most extreme violent individual with raised to the rank. So now we saw that in Mexico with El Mencho, right?
Yes.
When El Mencho went down, crazy, the streets became violent. So hopefully we're going to be over with all of this soon, because the AI and finance and everything is doing so great. It looks like there's such a great moment for humanity ahead of us.
Yes.
But instead of betting on that, we are here still fighting, 3,000-year-old wars. What are we doing?
There's no money in that. Or maybe there is.
There's way too much money on that. That's actually the problem, that there's too much money on that. That's the only explanation I can think of. I had another tweet I wanted to show you guys. For some reason, the whole page doesn't exist. Don't tell me they banned this guy. It was one of the best accounts ever. No, they took down his tweet. I don't know why. I don't know why. I had a little meme I wanted to close with, but now that one is lost. So let's show this one, because this one will show that actually, it looks like this. How do you call this in English? I know how to say it in Spanish. Let me ask you this. You call this in English? This machine, the cement mixer, concrete mixer, right?
A concrete mixer, yeah.
This concrete mixer has more utility than 95% of crypto. Oh man, and that's it. With this, we have gotten to the end of the show. Carlos, thank you once again for taking the time to be here with us. Definitely the future is uncertain at these times, but we are ready for whatever it throws at us.
We will adapt.
We will adapt. So thank you everybody for taking the time to be with us here today, and we will see you again next week with another show of From the Future podcast. Until then, stay well, my friend.